On July 20th this year, Tim Burchett, the Tennessee Republican congressman, held a press media release, and he went on to say that they're going to do a public hearing on unidentified aerial phenomenon, or unidentified anomalous phenomenon. The names have changed from UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, to unidentified anomalous phenomenon. Of course, it means UFOs. And Tim had said that when he had approached, he and his fellow congressmen had approached the Pentagon and other intelligence agencies in the States, they'd been given a cold shoulder. They'd been told, that's secret information, we can't disclose it, or we don't know anything about that. And this has gone on for a couple of years. Tim went on to say that also the Pentagon was being obstructive, and that Washington was just a place full of intrigue and was frustrating for the good American senators that still exist there in the United States. Many American people are good, they're good-hearted people, but they also have issues to deal with because they were, after the Second World War, they did become the leading and most powerful country, especially towards the end of the last century, and even today, they still carry weight. For 2 hours and 15 minutes on July the 25th, 3 men appeared before Congress in an open meeting. It was under the chairmanship of Glenn Grothman. He's the U.S. Republican representative for the Wisconsin 6th District. And he had said that he reminded his audience, and he reminded the House, along with Tim Burchett, that this was a non-partisan issue, and that the American Republic had been set up to be founded on transparency and accountability, and not under the sway of European royal dynasties and various factions from the old world that had broken away, and they had hoped, despite being compromised probably early on in their history, to set up a new standard for Western civilization. Now, at the public hearing, 3 witnesses came forward, and what they said was absolutely intriguing, and it does back up Corey Goode's information about the secret space program and extraterrestrial vehicles powered by technology that is simply way beyond our understanding. Or we can get there if we think out of the box, but the current physics being taught at the universities and our current knowledge base and theories about how the universe actually works and operates is only partial, and in some cases is wrong. Even our mathematics, apparently. In front of the audience, just before the witnesses appeared, Tim had said that there's a defense intelligence document, unclassified, so you can find it if you look for it. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. There's a paper on advanced space propulsion based on vacuum space-time metric engineering. I guess this would be something that is totally beyond our ken, our understanding. In a sense, it speaks to the fact that the people who came as witnesses on the Congress said they had seen objects standing stationary in storms, dropping from 80,000 feet to 10,000 feet in a matter of seconds, zigzagging over the ocean, and then dipping into the ocean and coming back up again, doing right-handed turns at speed, which would defy, G-forces for anyone. If you're inside the capsule, your body would, explode or collapse or whatever. Our bodies couldn't stand it. If that was under normal conditions, but it seemed that it's not under normal conditions. Anyway, the three people that came forward, the first one was Ryan Graves. He's a former US Navy F-18 pilot. Then David Grush, a former senior intelligence official for National Geointelligence Space Agency. Both Ryan and David, I thought, were very convincing and were able to, lay it out on the table. Okay, this is what's happening. This is what we've seen. This is happening in our space. Ryan thought that these objects were possibly a danger to civilian aircraft, to military aircraft. David said that he knew a lot more about where these craft originate and how they are propelled, but he couldn't disclose it in front of Congress. He had to go to a skiff room where he could discuss it quietly in front of a few selected Congress people. That it couldn't be disclosed publicly, but it was all came out in the open. And lastly, there was okay, let's try this. And lastly, David Favour, retired squadron leader, commander. He was the third person to be interviewed. He described how, while flying in formation, he'd come down to chase a Tic Tac, and the Tic Tac is shaped like the Tic Tac sweetie. It's just strange. So it's comes shaped like this. It's oval. I'll bring this up here. Shaped like this, and maneuvers left and right. Turns. It does retrograde motion. Sudden descent from 80,000 feet, remaining stationary in a Category 4 storm. David had said that the Tic Tac, when they chased after it, it dropped from, it took off from where they were chasing it and where they were following it. It rose from the water. He had two planes above him, part of his squadron, and he'd come down, and then he was level, the Tic Tac was level, and then suddenly it accelerated, and that it had gone 60 miles in, I think it was less than a minute. It had gone 60 miles in less than a minute. And this would mean it's flying at 3,600 miles an hour. The physics is just incredible. And the system, as I said, seems to be using advanced space-time propulsion based on some vacuum metric engineering. So I'd like to stop there. I hope that the British press have been, apart from I think one article in The Guardian, have been very quiet about all this revelation. Ministry of Defence, come on. They are good guys, I'm sure, working in there and working in the British Parliament still. It's time for you to come out. Give the truth to the British public and the rest of the English-speaking world. Okay, the Americans are given the lead, you can follow. Okay, guys. Have a good year.